um, my father passed away on January 31st, and he was from a pretty traditional background. He was a staunch Missouri Synod Lutheran in the most conservative interpretation of that, and asked me occasionally how I was with Jesus. But on the whole, the things that I was doing were pretty foreign to him. But he was 88 when he died, and to his credit, he read all the books that I gave him, and he's watched all the videos I gave him, and I gave them all to him. And I'm sure that whether he wanted to or not, he picked up a lot of things that he didn't know before. So when he died, there was some confusion about how he left things. He had 4 children. I was his first from his first marriage, and he had 3 from his second marriage. And basically pretty much cut me out of my, I certainly didn't receive a quarter of an equal share of things. And I'd only really gotten to know him over the last 2 or 3 years because my stepmother died 4 years before he did. And I never felt welcome while she was around. But once she passed, then I began to have a relationship with my dad. And as I say, he was 88, and he still lived alone, and he still walked a mile every day, and still drove his own car, and he was doing pretty well, all things considered. He had a new little kitty, a little Siamese kitty that he'd had for about a year. And his mind was fine, and he was a very intelligent man. And I really enjoyed that time that I had with him and felt very blessed to have that, getting to know him. But when he died and I discovered, I just always took for granted that even though I didn't have a father growing up, that he was there for me in some way, and that, that he considered me an equal child and so on and so forth. But when he died, that wasn't there. So I think he knew this very urgently in some way and felt badly and felt a need to get in touch with me. So 10 days after he passes, 10 days mind you, I get a phone call from Bill Sweet, where are you, Bill? He was here a few minutes ago. Oh, there he is in the back. I got a phone call from Bill Sweet, who was on a conference call with a woman from Minneapolis, just to make sure I really get the message about this woman who was a wonderful speaker and had a near-death experience and could talk to the angels and could talk to people who'd passed. But they didn't say that. They just told me about the angels. She was the angel lady. But they really made it clear that this is something I had to do, and there was no bones about it. So I hung up, and I went online, and I looked up Sue, just to make sure it was really legit. I mean, I figured it was if it came from Bill, but, my conservative upbringing and all that. So I checked, and things checked out. So I called Sue, and I left a message, and she called me back. And the first thing she said to me was, yes, it's true, I talk to angels, but she said, what I really do best is talking to people who've passed. And as soon as she said that, it was just like bells and whistles went off, and the siren said, this is why you're here, And I knew my dad was behind all this. So we made an appointment to meet on the weekend to just, she was going to do a little mini reading for me, and we had lunch, so we got the chance to know each other a little bit. And I invited her to speak. But during the mini reading, yes, indeed, my dad was there with bells on and telling me, his side of things and why what was, and that he really did care about me and blah, 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 and it was very comforting and reassuring. Anyway, that was how I met Sue, and I'm always guided to our speakers. It's just incredibly amazing, but I thought that was such kind of a wonderful and interesting and delightful way to meet somebody. Anyway, since that time, I've had an opportunity to talk to her a few times, and I've really enjoyed getting to know her, and I'm sure you will really enjoy hearing her tell her story as well. So let's give a warm welcome for Sue Stork.
oh my goodness, where do I start? I listened to all of you, and I thought, gosh, I can help that person. Oh, I can talk to that person. It's just flowing out of me. It's like really what I do. What she was talking about is me talking to people who have passed on and are on the other side. At least one half of what I call my practice, or the people that I talk to all over the world, are calling me because someone has passed on and they want that connection. They want to talk to them, they want to hear from them, and it's just amazing. They'll say, oh, it's just like my father would have said it, or it's just like, you know, it sounds just like my brother, or, oh my gosh, I can't believe you knew that. And this is basically what I do. There's very few places that you can go that you can really connect with someone who has passed on. Even the big healers like Von Prague and John Edwards, what they can do is contact someone who's already there. If a spirit is already there in the room, they can contact them, but it might be your neighbor down the street when you really want to talk to your dad, or it might be someone else that just happens to be in the room that you know. And they don't seem to have the direct contact that I do. And I can just, and I'm going to explain to you because you're an audience that would like to hear how I do this, I can just somehow go up to the other side and call them forth. I only need a first name, call them forth. They come forth and they talk to me. And it's as easy for me to talk to them as it is for me to talk to you. It's my gift. So where did I get this gift? My goodness, how can I talk to the angels, talk to people who have passed on? I have like I don't know what you call it, maybe an X-ray vision, where I can just look at someone, go right through their body, find out what's wrong with them, how it can be fixed, how the energy can move better. And where did I get all these gifts? When I was 18 months old, I had my near-death experience. So I was basically a child and didn't know what was happening at the time because I was too young. But I was in my crib and I was wrapped up in my blankets and I was suffocating. And I can remember the angels flying over my head. I didn't at the time know what they were, but they were like white, flashing, flying objects, and there were maybe 5 of them. If I count back, there were 5 flying over my head. So and then a great sense of peace came over me. It's amazing that at 18 months old you can remember that, but like Diane was saying, when you feel that, you don't forget that. And a great sense of peace came over me, and I somehow knew I was going to be saved. So an angel must have gone downstairs, grabbed my mom, told her to come up, and what was happening, I don't know exactly how it all happened. My mom's 89, and she doesn't remember everything about it. What she does remember is that I had already started to turn blue, and you know, if she hadn't been told what was going on, I wouldn't be here. So that's basically my first, what I call near-death experience. I had another one that came on later, but this is the one we're basically going to focus on. Then at some point, I'll go back and tell you about the other one. Okay. At the age of 4, I had an adult male voice that was talking to me. And I didn't know that it was an unusual circumstance. I thought everybody had it. And so I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my mother. I didn't tell anyone that I had this voice. And I called it my little man. What do you call an adult male voice that talks to you? Right? When you're 4 years old, I called it my little man. So for my entire life, my little man was talking to me. He was guiding me, he was helping me, he was giving me information, and he was just there to be with me, to comfort me. Many years later, and this is many years later, I'm already grown, married, my husband passed away young, so he was married, he had passed away, we were married, he had passed away. I had about a 10-year-old daughter. I think she was about 10 at that time. And I got my little man talking to me, and he said, make a writing room. Okay, well, I don't know what that means, but I always listen, so I took one of bedrooms in my house, and I broke it down, and I changed everything around, and I made a writing room. 6 months later, I get a call, and the lady says, "Can we come in on Monday?" And I said, "Who are you? What is this?" And she said, "Well, my name is Barbara Mark, and if you know that name," unfortunately, she just recently passed away, but Barbara Mark is the woman who wrote the book Angels Speak. And she told me that she was woken up in the middle of the night by her angels and told that she should go to the Chicago area, find a woman who is very interesting, knew interesting people, and awaken her to her gifts. And that she and her sister were going to come and edit their book at my house. And I had a writing room. 6 months before, my little man had told me to do that. So, and it's funny because the right-brain people in my life said, "Oh, this is really nice. I mean, they wrote a bestseller. You're having these women who talk about angels come to your house," and they were excited. And my left-brain friends, "You're going to let strangers in your house?" You can relate to both sides, right? I mean, well, you don't know these people. Who are they? Anyway. So that's basically my story. And the next thing that happened, and I'm going to go back, but the next thing that happened is my assistant at the time said, "Well, will you come to my church and talk about angels?" And I said, "Certainly." And I said, "Why don't you call Borders and see if they'd like me to come there and talk about angels?" So Naperville Borders said yes, and all of a sudden, that's it. I was all over the suburbs. I've been to Wilmette, I've been to Evanston, I've been to all the border stores talking about angels. So that's basically, in a nutshell, my immediate story, how I got to be standing here today. My second near-death experience was a little bit different. It just happened right after 9/11. It happened in October of 2001. I was driving a new car, relatively new, 7,000 miles on it, and I was going down the street, and it was 45 miles an hour. It was in the Naperville area, 45 miles an hour. And all of a sudden, boom, there's this car in front of me. It's a green van, and I'm thinking, where did he come from? And that's it. I was hit head-on, 45 miles an hour. I blacked out, obviously. From what I find out, there were 3 cars involved in the accident. I didn't know that at the time. My car, absolutely guided by the angels, or something absolutely guided me. Because my car turned around, went up on the curb, and do you know the amount of space between the box for the stoplight and the stoplight? There isn't a whole lot of space there. It was guided right, because I wasn't conscious, guided right through that space. I mean, there was probably not more than this much room on either side. And then when I came to, after I heard a voice say, "You've been in a car accident, you're going to be fine." When I came to, I watched this big box in front of me, this big construction box, and I hit it head on. So I was hit 2 times. And I just sat there and I thought, okay, I've been in a car accident, I'm going to be fine. Because that's what my voice said. And I got that sense of peace again. Somehow or other, that sense of peace came over me. And I believe me, it was 4 or 5 years that I wasn't doing real well, but ultimately I'm fine. I mean, you can't get hit that hard and not suffer from it. But it all worked out, and I'm here, and I'm okay. My sense of it, because the entire front of the car was missing. I had left some credit cards, my gasoline credit cards in the car, and so I had somebody call from the hospital and ask the man who did the wreckage if he would make sure the car was locked until I could get there, until I could see it, and I didn't know how long that would be. And he said someone survived that accident. The entire front of the car was missing. But listen to this, because this is so amazing. When I saw the car, I stood there and I wept, and I wept, and I wept. And I said, "God, you must want me here." The entire front of the car was gone. The frame was completely gone. The tires, gone. Everything, engine, gone. You know what force it takes to do all of that? But nothing on the inside of the car. The windshield wasn't broken. If you had taken a picture of the inside of the car, other than seeing airbags, you could have sold the car. It was perfect. The doors on the side, but 1 instant more, because the entire crash stopped at the side view mirrors. So my sense is, I was meant to be here. Why did I even have to create that, or why did I even have to be there, or why didn't that even have to happen to me? I'm not sure. Sometimes there are things in life we don't really know. All I know is I've come through it, I've been able to help people, I've met new people through it, and so that was my 2. Hopefully 2 is enough, we don't have to do 3 is the magic number. And I'm still okay. What did I have a feeling, and I can't tell this to every group I talk to, but I have a feeling that during the time, the instant I was blacked out, and before I heard the voice, and it had to be just an instant, that I went someplace, that I went for more training. If that doesn't sound, to you it probably doesn't sound as weird as it might be to somebody else. But my sense is that if I had to say why I had the accident, why I had the near-death experience the second time, it's because there was something that I didn't know, that I couldn't be taught, that I wouldn't be able to bring into this life to use to help you, to heal, to benefit you. What I've noticed is that my gifts are stronger, I'm more accurate. I was pretty accurate before. I mean, I've never had anybody tell me I wasn't 100%. But I get more information. I guess that's it. And I do it more quickly. Maybe there's another part of it. I can do it more quickly. Because I do radio shows, and I've done over 1,500 radio shows. Sometimes the last year around Christmas, in 3 weeks, I did 32 radio shows. So I'm doing them. In fact, I was scheduled for 11 to 1 last night in Canada. And I've done radio shows all over the world. What I do is that because they're all different time zones, I can schedule them at different hours, but I pretty much work 24/7, including weekends. In any event, it seems that I need to have instant information. If somebody, they may have 32 different people call in, and I have to constantly, instantly be able to be totally accurate and tell them exactly what they want to know, give them the names of their angels, and answer their questions, and I have to be right. So my guess is I just got my PhD in additional training. The way I met Julie and Atlee is I was on WCCO in Minneapolis, and she called me for a consultation, because obviously that's what I do, and I helped her out. She said I gave her more help in half hour than in 6 months of therapy, and then eventually we became friends. And it's interesting that she lives in Burnsville, Minnesota, and the lady who called Bill or whatever got us together is in Burnsville, Minnesota. So there's some connection with Minnesota, and connection with the radio. But my sense is we connect with who we're supposed to connect with. I mean, everybody who's here today to hear me, there's a reason you're here. There's a reason I'm here. We're connecting because we have an energy that is going to enhance one another. I'm going to give you some piece of information that you're going to grow from, that you're going to know, and at some point you're going to get better. What I do when I do my consultations, and again, these gifts have come to me, I think, through my near-death experiences. I think I've probably gotten them other places, but that means that's the way I have brought them in. And I can't believe that anyone who hasn't gone to the other side and come back, or had what I call the near-death experience, hasn't brought back something that has changed their life, that has made them more powerful, and brought them some sense of peace or some sense of connection that is just unbelievable. I'm going to take a quick break here, and we're going to see whose name I get first. Rachel Greeley? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell her what her angels want her to know. I'm going to give you a message from your angels. And what they're saying is, you're a dynamite woman when you're focused. When you're not focused, And so they're saying, you've got special projects in your life, you've got some goals that you want to do, and it's really important that you stay focused. And also they're telling me that some blessings are coming to you. You've done a lot, you've given a lot, you've done a lot, and now things are going to start to come back to you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, let's give her a hand. Okay. I guess the next thing I want to do, and maybe I should describe to you, you're probably interested in how I do this, but what I do is I just listen. I listen to my little man. I listen to Archangel Michael. He tells me what to say. He tells, like when I was talking to you, it was just me either channeling it through or just whatever I am, and I'm just listening to him tell you what he wants you to say. When I'm on the radio, I listen. When I'm doing my consultations, I just listen. But another thing that I can do is I can go up to the angelic realm. So what I thought might be fun is for me to describe to you, what is the angelic realm? What's there? What does it look like? What does it sound like? What is heaven? What is the other side? What is there? What does it look like? I thought you'd be interested in that kind of a thing. So let's start with the angelic realm. I went up there one time and I asked, why do angels make miracles and people down here don't have miracles? I mean, we get miracles once in a while, but we don't get miracles all the time. We don't have miracles every single day. And why is that? So what they told me is that on the angelic realm, the molecules move faster. Isn't that interesting? Think about that. The molecules move faster. We have time and space. We have a heaviness. We have a density. They've never lived, guardian angels have never lived in time and space. They don't have that heaviness or that density. How we generate miracles for ourselves is we ask the molecules to move faster. So if you've got something going on in your life and you want either more success or more happiness or something like that, just say, angels, make the molecules move faster, or God, make the molecules move faster. Whoever you use and whoever is your source, ask them to move. And we can do that. We have the power to do that, and it really works. What I also see on the angelic realm is beautiful colors. Colors that I've never seen down here. A lot of them are reds and deep roses and oranges and different things like that. But there's just a lot of beautiful, beautiful colors. The plants and the different flowers and things are intense, beautiful colors. And the music is something like you've never heard before. Whether it's the angels singing, and someone jokingly said, oh, you don't listen to harp music up there, do you? Well, I don't. It may be some of it, but it's just a sound that is sweet to the ears. It's hard to describe something no one has any concept of, but it's very difficult. All I can say is it's absolutely a beautiful experience. What I see on the other side is kind of different. I see the light. I see the beautiful, intense light. I see the energy of the people that are there, mostly in form. Like if someone said, well, what did he look like? And it's someone who's passed on. I don't know which life I'm talking about because we go from life to life to life. So I can describe them, but I'm probably not doing it right because it might not be the soul that was this life that they knew. So but I see more of an energy form. The other thing I see is a great big white temple. To me, the best way to describe it is a temple with beams and different things like that. And it's just white and gold and absolutely beautiful, great big doors. And I actually see people doing things. I don't see a soul just laying there, or a soul, an energy just recuperating till they incarnate another time. I actually see them doing things. I actually occasionally will see someone helping the people who died at 9/11. I'll see people doing something to educate children or nurture children. Sometimes I see my angels on the other side helping out, sometimes not. People will ask me about angels when someone dies. What happens? How do the angels figure in? And what happens is we have a group of angels called Etal, E-T-A-L, and that group of angels come down and are there with you before you pass. So they would be there with you, let me ask, about at least 2 to 3 hours before. So when someone gets a look, who's ill gets a look on their face or something like that, they're watching their angels. So this group of angels is around for a period of time, and then they come and they take you over, and they make sure that that it's peaceful, that you're okay, that you're taken care of, and that everything works out for you. So from the time you're born and you get your guardian angels to the time you pass on, your angels are with you. At least 3 angels, from what I've been told, are with you your entire life. And they're with you, like I said, from the time you're born till the time you pass on. People have asked me, then what? Then what about the next life? Do you keep the same angels? And the answer to that is no, you don't. Because your angels are chosen based on your life's purpose. And if your life's purpose is to do one thing in one life and another thing in another life, then you're going to have different angels. Okay, I can hear minds thinking, so you're going to have a chance to ask your questions because I'm not going to be able to answer. I'm not going to answer everything, but I'll try. All right. The next thing I wanted to say is, people will say, can someone who has died, can my father, my mother, my grandmother, can they be my angel? Well, the truth is, they're not your guardian angel, but they can act as one. So technically, everyone has 3 guardian angels that are chosen for them, but they can act as an angel. They can be with you. They can come back occasionally. I mean, you can feel them. You can feel their presence, and they can be around you. People really only move to another dimension. It's like your death is not the end. It's not like it's complete only in the physical body. But the soul moves on, the psyche moves on, the, what should I say, energy field moves on, and you move to another, just move to another place. I got interviewed by the Pittsburgh Gazette, and they asked me a question that I didn't know I wanted in the newspaper, but they asked me, and I will tell you the answer to my question, the question and the answer. Wasn't crazy about the fact that it was going into a regular mainstream newspaper, but this is what they said. Why did 9/11 happen? What really happened? Okay. I don't know all the details, but what I have been told is the souls that left are going to be our future politicians and our future government. And they're going to come back as a group. They needed to leave as a group, and they're going to come back as a group, and they're going to be the ones that are going to guide us and lead us. That's what my Archangel Michael told me. Interesting, isn't it? Wow, powerful. We don't always know the reason for things happening. And I was thinking about it. If you listen to the TV, and you were listening to people talk about those who had died in 9/11, they never said bad things about them. They weren't bad people that died. They were good people, giving people, helping people, loving people. There was something special about every one of them. And so hopefully we're going to have a better country at some point, and they will come back and be our leaders. Think for a minute. I'm just kind of listening to what he wants to talk about next. Oh, I've got an idea. I'm going to do one more of these. We'll kind of put them in between. We'll kind of weave them in. And then how would you like to connect with your angels? Would you like to try? Okay, let's do that. Gail.
Could you have them come down there? So
Oh, can Gail come to me?
That way I can
Come
tape
to
them.
me?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Sorry. I want to mess up the system here.
Right.
Okay. What if she stands right here?
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine? Okay, all right. Yeah, actually, then I can probably be on the camera. Okay, let's see. Well, what I hear around you is the word greatness. I hear that, you do really great things. You do great things for people. When you do something, you put your entire heart and soul into it. And when you take on a project, or even if it's helping someone or being the person that you are, you put everything you've got into it, and it works for you. So the word that I just see right over your head is great. Okay. All right, let's get our angels to talk to us. Most likely, you have had a connection with your angels. You just don't know it. Men think of it as a gut reaction, a hunch, something that's come to you, something that just came out of nowhere, a deja vu, something that's happened. You get a hint. You might call it your intuition. I was talking to a man who said, was a multimillionaire, and he said, I look at all the facts, I listen to what everybody tells me, I get all the advice, and then I just listen. And when I listen, I get the answer. So he said, and I think we all listen. I think, like I said, men get an idea, a hunch, a gut reaction. Women get an aha, a feeling, a warmth, an intuition. You call it an intuition, but truly these are your angels. These are your angels talking to you. I know when we're young, we connect with our angels very easily. Young children see things flying over their head, or they, you see them looking up, or they talk to an imaginary friend and stuff like that. They are talking to their angels. They're seeing their angels. One of the Waldorf School in Wheaton decided to do a field trip and come to the Angel Lady's house, and so the second grade class came to visit, and they sang their angel songs and different things like that. I asked them, had anybody seen an angel or heard an angel? And everyone in the class raised their hand. And I said, describe it, and they did. One little girl said, I was sitting on my bed and I saw something flying out of the closet and just came and sat down next to me. And I said, what did she look like? Because I could know it was a she. And she described her. Yes, that was definitely an angel. They talked about what it sounded like. They talked about what they looked like. So chances are everybody in this room has had at least one, if not more than one, connection with your angels. Well, let's do it now in a systematic way and see what we can do. Now, people learn differently and they connect differently. So you may be kinesthetic, you may be touchy-feely, you may be emotional, you may be somebody who does well with visualization, somebody who does well with audio. So if you don't get a connection, don't get upset about it. We'll go to the next step and see where you connect. All right. Now, silly as it may seem, I'm going to have you wiggle your tailbone, because if there's any fears or anything you're holding on to or anything that might be inhibiting you, it's going to be stuck in your tailbone. All right, got that done? Now, angel messages come in on the breath. So if you're wanting to bring in an angel message, whether you're here or someplace else, make sure you're taking deep breaths. One of the reasons we don't hear our angels is because we get in such a tense world. We're so busy all the time, we're not breathing deeply. So let's all take a couple of deep breaths. Super. Okay. Now, First thing I want you to do is think of a really beautiful angel. If you know the angel picture of the woman on the bridge with the two children, then use that angel. Some of you will know that, especially if you're Catholic, and you'll know that angel. If you can see that angel and you know that picture, then have her name is Serena, have her here with you, holding you in her wings. If not, then just think of a really beautiful female angel, pretty long hair, light flowing down, just next to you, holding you or talking to you. Just think of your angel. Now let's do something very simple because we're practicing. So ask your angel something simple. Say, angel, do you love me? Try that. Angel, are you here for me? And there are 4 archangels, and one of them are with you. One of them is your archangel. They're Gabriel, Michael, Uriel, that's U-R-I-E-L, or Raphael. Gabriel, Michael, Uriel, or Raphael. Let's see if you can find out which one is yours. So, Archangel, what is your name? Okay. Now, you either heard something in one of those little exercises or you didn't. Now let's do the visual one. Let's see if you can see your angel. So pretend like you're in an art gallery, or image being in an art gallery. We're going to do a visualization. And on the wall you see a big golden frame. It's a wooden frame, it's very large, and it's gold. And there's no picture in it, just the frame. And ask your angel to appear in the frame. Angels, show me what you look like. Appear in the frame. Okay, now I want to try something else. I want you to open your eyes and put your hands palms up on your lap. Got that? Okay. And ask your angels to do something to your hand to show you that they're right here, to touch you, to do something to your hand, to show you that they're right here in the room. So, angel, do something to my hand to show me that you're right here with me. it can be subtle. It can just be that a finger twitches, or one hand feels heavier than the other, or it was pretty amazing. At one of my talks, a man's, one of his fingers turned bright red, but that was pretty amazing. That doesn't always happen. But just something subtle. And if you didn't hear, see, or feel the presence of your angels, you can try this at home when you're, just remember to take deep breaths and wiggle your tailbone, and try it and see. And when you're practicing talking to them, practice first with very simple yes or no questions, and then see how they answer you. And they should answer fairly quickly. And then go to something a little deeper and a little more involved. And if you have a situation you need help with, then ask that. Okay, should we take our next? Well, let me ask you this before I do that. Who did not get any connection? Didn't feel anything, see anything?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So try it again when you're home, because it might be something that about being here, being in a crowd, or you did and you don't know it. Like if you heard of like Michael and you thought, oh, my son's name is Michael. I'm just making that up, or that's just my head. The truth is, if you're asking your angels for a name and they give you something, if you're asking them for an answer and they give you something, I'm going to answer questions in a little while. You can trust it. If you've gotten their attention and you've asked them to be with you, you can trust it. Okay? Okay, take another one. Jim, PA.
Right here.
I suppose I can talk to you. I can see you. Okay. What I'm hearing about you is time. You need time to do all the things that need to get done, and and they say to use a little idea of more space inside of you, to kind of just expand yourself and put more space in there. That's going to give you more time. But you have good things to do. I mean, you have, I can actually see these brilliant ideas that you have. So take the time and work on them, but one, this will sound funny, but one at a time, because sometimes you get things too mixed up. Does that sound okay? Okay, great. Let's do one more here. Christine Costello.
Here.
Oh,
You
okay.
actually drew both our names and we were
You're leaving? What?
have tickets to go to someplace tonight.
Oh, okay, okay. Well,
Go ahead, go for it.
are you Christine?
Yes.
Okay, great. What I hear is that you have a lot going on, and you need to. Well, that makes sense, right? And you need to make some sense of it. But they're telling me you have a really good heart, and you think about people, and you think about what's good for them, and how it can benefit them, and what you can do to be available and helpful. And they just said you're a very genuine soul, and they love you for that. That's what she is.
Thank you.
Okay,
Is it
good.
possible you could do Marilyn?
Are you one of the
I
ones?
came up from New Orleans.
Yeah.
Marilyn Mendoza.
Okay, what's your name?
Marilyn Mendoza.
All right, let me just pull you out of here. Okay. Anybody else that got their name called that's heading out for one reason or another? No? Okay. What I'm hearing for you is straight and narrow. That you call it as it is. You trust your gut. You trust your heart, and you're very direct, but in a kind, generous way. So they're telling me to keep doing that, because when you express yourself, you really express their wisdom. You have a lot of connection with your angels. So keep doing it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. maybe I'll take a couple of questions now, and then I can get on the subject of what you want me to talk about.
In my experience, I feel that the angels have their own personalities, and that they do kind of get bored with our dramas and our emotions. And I get the feeling they converse with each other, and they're kind of just out of boredom, or they've been through this so many times. And you can interpret this as diabolical, this communication that they're making because of our dramas. Do you get that feeling?
Okay. One thing I have to tell you about guardian angels is they don't have emotions like we do. They don't get bored. They don't, they put up with us. I guess they're used to us. But they don't have jealousy. They don't have anger. It doesn't matter which angel you talk to. It doesn't matter, what you need from them, how often you ask. You're not a pest. They really are just loving, genuine, friendly beings, and here to help.
The other thing is that I feel that the angels they are so overwhelming in size that they need the souls that have passed on to help them do their things, and the souls that have passed on need the angels to open up the gateway so that they can communicate with the relatives. But for me, I just thought the angels were so massive in size that they're just overwhelming,
Okay, so we'll talk about the size of the angels. When I see them sometimes, I see them 20 feet tall. I see them huge. In fact, I'll tell you a story. This is a real story. I did an angel party in Downers Grove, I think it was. And a lady told this story. The kids were playing on the floor, and they were playing Monopoly, and they were sitting on the floor playing, and the mother was upstairs. And at some point, 2 burglars or 2 men broke into the house while the kids were downstairs. And they screamed for their mom, and she started coming down the stairs and carrying a baseball bat. But even 2 guys could take over a woman with a baseball bat, a bunch of kids. In any event, they got this horrified look on their face, and they ran out of the back door. They just tore out of the house. And what the kids turned around and saw was this big Archangel Michael with his sword behind the mom and 20 feet tall. So I guess when they need to be that way, they are that way. But I'm not sure about any of the other, some of it fits and some of it doesn't. So maybe we can do a talk one-on-one sometime and discuss it.
Hi. I've had a lot of things happen in my house that are unexplained, and I was wondering if it's angels, if it's people, like a passed on person, or what is it? Why are they coming to warn me?
Okay, she's saying, if I'm getting your question right, there are things happening in your house,
Right.
and you don't know who is doing these things, if they're discarnate souls or they're angels or who they are. Let me ask. I'm hearing there are a couple that lived there before the house was built. So it has nothing to do with angels. They were pioneers that they were just moving through, and for one reason or another died in that area, and they've stayed there. But it seems like they're friendly, and they're not hurting you at all.
No,
Okay. A little off the range, but
Do angels have a sense of humor? Do they like to play little practical jokes?
oh, good question. Do angels have a sense of humor? Do they like to play practical jokes? Yes.
Ah.
Yes. I mean, don't follow me in the car because you might see me just start laughing out loud. They love to do fun things, loving things, not evil, mischievous things,
No.
but loving and fun things.
Do you find that angels express themselves through us?
Do they express themselves? I didn't hear the rest of it.
Through us.
Through us. Oh, I would say yes. Do I find that angels express themselves through us? Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. I mean, it depends on the situation, but they can. I mean, there's something that I call a physical angel. I mean, I hear stories of a woman in the desert and she gets a flat tire, and there's no one around. And a man all dressed in white comes up and says, "Can I change your tire?" And does, and then she looks, and he's not there. So he's just gone. So I call those physical angels. And because I've done so many radio shows, and because I've contacted so many people in so many places, I get lots and lots of angel stories. So I hear their experiences, their near-death experiences, and I'm going to tell you a couple more of those stories later. Did that answer your question, though?
Yes, I just think that my angel has an incredible libido that's expressed through
This angel has a libido. Maybe. I'll have to get to know your angel sometime. Okay.
I'm just wondering, I see angels all the time, some with wings, some without, some with inhuman features, some with very human features. I was wondering what's the difference between all of
Yeah,
that?
I only see angels, I'll tell you what they look like. This is the only way I see them. I see them pretty much between the age of 20 and 30. I don't know why, but that's what I see. Males and females have like shoulder length wavy hair, kind of like mine. Mine's a little longer. Sometimes they're blonde, sometimes they're redheads, sometimes they have dark hair. Very occasionally, I have seen Asian-looking angels. I've seen Native American-looking angels, but very occasionally. The way I normally see them is the way I would normally see someone who is male or female, Caucasian, the way I would
But like
see
a
them.
human factor.
Right, right. And they usually appear to you as you would see them and know them. For instance, if someone spoke French to me, I might not know. If an angel came to me in French, or if an angel came to me and I didn't recognize that it was an angel, it wouldn't be effective. So in order for them to help you, they do it in such a way that it's a way that you will understand. And so if you're talking to your angel, make sure you ask them to do it in a way that you would understand. I know you've been wanting to ask me something.
It was a comment. When you
Whoops.
guide us
Can you
to
come,
ask the
I'm a little hard of hearing. I can hear them fine, but I can't hear people too well. Can you come down and talk to me? I know you have a soft voice because I heard you before.
When you ask the question about, ask the angel.
mic. Can't hear.
When you ask the question for us to ask, what is ask your angel if he loves you.
Mhm.
And at the same time that I was asking, it came the answer very powerfully, right coming from here with the strength. It was the answer.
That was absolutely.
And it was,
Yeah.
it shook me up.
That's absolutely
really
right.
uplifting way.
Oh, good.
Can
Good.
you tell me something about painting? Because I feel called to painting, but I don't know if it's painting. Yeah. Art.
Talk to me afterward because I'm not sure that pertains to what we're doing right now. Okay. Okay. Good. Go ahead.
Do women have women angels and
Question.
angels, or vice versa, or what?
Okay, so do women have women angels? Do men have male angels? And how does that work? It depends on what your life's purpose is. And I deal with this in the Angel First Aid books. I have a glossary of angels, and I deal with a lot of the questions you're asking me are answered in the two books. If your life's purpose is to do something, let's just say with real estate, or something with social services, or whatever, you will have the angels that work with that particular situation as your guardian angels.
You said that someone that has passed on could be your angel. But my understanding of an angel is that the angel has never lived in this life. And
Right.
that somebody that has passed on, my education and understanding is that they are basically a saint or
Okay,
in heaven.
a saint has had a physical body.
Right.
So they have passed on with a physical body. Someone, I think I answered this before, but someone cannot be a guardian angel necessarily. I mean, you can use the word guardian angel. My mother was my guardian angel. My sister's my guardian angel. But basically, technically, they're not if they've had a physical body. If they haven't had a physical body, they can act as an angel and come back for a period of time and be with you and help you.
What's the difference then between a spirit guide and an angel?
Oh, good question. What's the difference between a spirit guide and an angel? Good question. A spirit guide has had a physical body. Usually it's someone, an ancestor or an elderly something or other, you know, I mean, a Native American chief or something is what I usually see when I'm looking at spirit guides. Angels come from the angelic realm and have never had a physical body. That makes sense? But people have everything. You have your spirit guides too.
Occasionally I'll feel at the edge of my bed an indentation as if somebody's sitting there. And I instantly think of my grandmother. Is it more likely that it is her or an angel or my spirit guide?
She feels something at the edge of her bed that's kind of sitting there, and she isn't sure if it's her, if it's an angel or if it's her grandmother, or if it's a grandmother. You know, in this case, it's your grandmother. And what she's saying is she's really, really proud of you. You've come a long way. You really put your life together, and she's right there to support you. I'm going to take a stop for 1 second and get another name, and then we'll... Noreen. Okay, Noreen. Well, what I hear is anyone who knows you is blessed to know you. You have a special quality about you, an intelligence, an intuition, a perception. You've had it since you were little, and there's something really genuine and special about you. And your angels have been with you your entire life, like everyone else, but they've been really present in your life. They've helped you achieve a lot. They've helped you learn a lot. Jacob, the angel of education, has been right beside you when you've been taking tests and doing things, and still will be. And they're just using these words, a glorious soul. Good girl. Okay, I want to get to some of my stories too. We'll do this and then we'll, oh, I can't leave, so you got to tell me.
My question is, after a person passes on, I understand that they continue doing work and advancing. If you attempt to contact them, do you have to raise your vibrations depending on how much they've advanced or what?
Oh, good question. You know, in all the questions I've answered in 20 years, no one's ever asked me that. That is a good question. All right, so what she wants to know is, when someone has passed on and they're continuing to do their work and evolve, and do you have to raise your vibration to be contacted by them or to contact them? And the answer is no, not necessarily. No, if it's your desire to do so, or if you call me up one way or the other, we're going to get to them. Okay. Who you decide first?
I have twins, grandchildren, and particularly...
Can you come down here again? It's hard for me to hear people.
I have twin grandchildren. It's a boy and a girl.
Use the mic.
Okay. It's a boy and a girl.
She has
They're twin grandchildren. And particularly the little guy, the boy. He has told me he's from Angel Land. And that he came here because he was requested to. He had told my daughter that originally she was only supposed to have Brittany, which was the little girl. But when he was asked to come down, 2 angels carried him down in a basket. And he was brought here. Now, when I have followed up some reading as far as the indigo children or the crystal children, and he tells me his aura is blue. And it's a special blue? He says, an indigo blue, Grandma. And then he turns to me and he says, well, you should know that. You're queen of the angels. He's seeing angels around me. Is that why he's
Yes.
feeling it?
I think you are queen of the angels. So that's great. He's seeing this, your specialness. He's seeing how connected you are with them and how connected they are with you, and that's his way of expressing it. Good job. You're doing well.
Thank you.
Okay. Amazing kids, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And fun.
Great.
And the childlikeness is so unique in that they're just open to everything.
Did you hear that? The childlikeness is so unique because they're just open to everything, like their awareness. Did you have a question? And I'll take
Yeah.
some.
Hey, Sue, I got a good one for you.
Oh,
I
good.
understand that everybody, when they're born, have a guardian angel or an angel that's there with them. Okay, if this is so, what happens when these people become these terrible criminals or horrible characters? Do the angels just sort of give up on them?
Okay, so, yeah, okay. My answer to that is we don't always understand. No, your angels don't give up on you. We don't always, repeat the question?
Oh.
Okay. Here, do you want to do it?
No, you can do it. Huh? Just
Okay, basically he's saying, what happens if your angels are with you your whole life and then something catastrophic happens to you, or like me with my second near-death experience, a car accident or something like that happens to you, do your angels give up on you? And my answer...
Criminal behavior. No,
Criminal.
criminal behavior. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, if you're a criminal. Oh, okay, you're going to have to get closer to me so I can hear all
Okay.
that. Do your angels give up on you? I hear no. I hear no. They're just not listening, because I've asked, does Bin Laden have angels? And I hear yes. They're just not listening. They're there. They're there. If you listen, they're there.
That's why you assumed.
Is that that's...
Question over there.
Oh, okay, sure.
If we have someone who passed over and we try to talk to them, pray to them, all this, is it really hard on them to be constantly called back?
Good question. If we have someone who's passed over and we constantly talk to them and contact them and pray to them, and is it hard on them because they've already passed over? No.
It's okay to do
No.
that?
Answer is you can contact them as often as you want, contact your angels as often as you want. The thing is, if for some reason they're doing something else, or they're not available, or there's something, or they've incarnated and for some reason they're not there, they just won't respond. But you're not hurting them. You're not doing anything wrong. There was a gentleman here with his hand up.
Would some character like Bin Laden have a dark angel which
Right.
is listening to him?
Okay, now we get into the dark angels. My experience and everything I've asked and the way I've checked it over. Oh, you want the question on tape? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking about that. Let me take one quick drink of water first. So the question is, does Bin Laden have a dark angel he is listening to? And he is listening to his angels. And my experience, and I have checked it over and over, I have asked in so many ways, I don't see dark angels. I don't, if they're there, if they exist, they're not in my realm of what I'm supposed to know, what I'm supposed to do, and what I'm supposed to see. Because to me, if they're of a negative nature, they're just not an angel. They're certainly not from the angelic realm. And they haven't been cast out. They just either never were or aren't. So if there are dark angels, they're just not in my realm of reality.
I'm curious what the most,
You know, you might have to come closer to me,
really?
yeah, if you don't mind. Normally I would come to you, but I have to stay stationary.
I'm curious what the most common piece of information.
Mike.
Oh, okay.
I'm curious what the most common piece of information that you hear angels give to people. In other words, if angels had one message for humanity, what would it be?
Okay. If angels had one message for humanity, what would it be? All right, I'll give you two, actually. And that's the reason I've written 2 books, and the third one is on the way. Archangel Michael came to me and said, and this is before 9/11, and said, the world is going to need angel first aid, and that's why we're going to write a book together. And the message is that we want people to know is that there is always hope, and they're never alone. Because no matter what happens in a person's life, there are always times that they feel alone, even in a room filled with people, and there's always times that they need hope. And that's our goal, and that's why we wrote the Angel First Aid Arts for Miracles book. The next thing he told me a few years later is if there's things, life is easy, people just don't know how to live it. They don't have the tools to make life easy. Life, they think life is a struggle, they don't have enough money, things aren't working well for them, and life is difficult. And he said, if they know who their angels are, and they're doing their life's purpose, then life becomes easier. And so the second book is How to Find Your Life's Purpose and Be Successful at It, and do what makes life easier for you. Why shouldn't you have all the money, all the love, all the help? Why shouldn't you have the things that are here for you? And basically, it's because you're not doing what your job is down here. And everybody has a different job. Did that answer, what was your question? Answer your question. Okay, you want to come down here and
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you.
Do each of us have just one angel, particularly if you were to say, tell a person who their angel is and name them, would someone else that's an angel believer mention a different angel to that
Possibly. I hear what Archangel Michael says to me. So, and I get the angels that he tells me. The reason I have identified 150 angels and have the names of them in the book and what they do is because people would call me and say, I'm taking a trip. What angel do I take with me to protect me? And then it would be Susan. Or I'm leaving my kids alone. They're grown up, but I'd like to leave an angel with them. Who do I leave? And it's Diane. Or they call and they say, I need some fast cash. Who's the angel that's going to help me? And it's Timothy, the angel of good fortune. So I would just ask, and that's how I would get the different angels. Right. They work with the category.
You say that angels never have had a physical body?
Correct. Angels have never had a physical body. That's what, some can appear in a physical body for a short period of time, but basically, if they're from the angelic realm, they've never had a physical body.
I was told by a speaker earlier this year, the name of my angel, not by category, but just, and that I was his mother at one time and he was my father at one time. So that would mean physical body.
Not in
your belief. So
no, not the way I know it. Yeah.
You mentioned 4 archangels.
Correct.
So that means that they can be in many places at one time.
Yeah, it's only our brain that says that archangels can't be in the same place that God, we assume God can be. But angels can be too. That brings another thought to mind. Do you have to be religious to have your angels? No. If you're religious, that's fine, and all monotheistic religions have angels in there. But if you're just spiritual, or even if you're an atheist, you have your angels. Your angels are with you to help you in your life, to help you with your life's purpose, and to make things better. They are really there. And my sense is, if you invite them into your life, if you make them your friends. I mean, Raphael is great at getting you out of traffic jams. I've kind of identified which one works for which. And, there's just all kinds of, and our life has traffic jams every once in a while. So your angels can help with that. Okay, one more question, then we'll do one of these from here.
I just wanted to encourage you to get back to your stories, I don't have a question.
Oh, you don't have a question? You want me to get back to my stories? Okay, good. All right. We'll take one more of these, and then I'll get back to the stories that I'm going to talk about. Sandy?
That would be me.
That's you? Okay.
The one you can't read my writing.
One I can't read. Oh, you're going to love this.
Oh, goody.
And the first word they say is gorgeous.
Bless their hearts.
They have the right person. They're telling me that your soul is brilliant and light and bright, and you have a wonderful spirit, and there is just so much beauty around you, inside and out. and they tell me they're very proud of you. Okay, let's get back to my stories. I wanted to tell you a specific story that I just heard. I'm trying to think how I could. A lady called me from Minneapolis. I'm doing a seminar in Minneapolis on the 8th and 9th of December. Edge Life. Edge Life is bringing me into Minneapolis, and I'm doing a 2-day seminar. And so they announced it on the radio, and a lady called me, and she said, I just want to tell you my story. So this is the story, because it's pretty amazing. Her husband had 21 days to retire, and he was a police officer. And he was called in on a bank robbery, and the robber started to chase him, and he had a semi-automatic gun. And he was able to shoot him one time in the leg, where 6 inches of bone was missing, and for some reason, he was able to continue running after the robber. Then he shot him again. To talk about somebody, and then I finally talked to the policeman afterward, because I knew I was coming here and I wanted to tell you the story. And then afterward, he got shot again, and this time the bullet went in the right side of the pelvis and came out, so it went all the way across his pelvis. He was still able to think, and he was still able to stay on his feet. I mean, this is just absolutely amazing. So he got behind a car, thinking that the engine of the car would block any other bullets, and he got behind the car, and he was able to stay there for a while, and then finally the robber turned around, came back, went behind the car, and so the police officer, his name is Michael, interesting, Archangel Michael, his name is Michael. The police officer laid flat on the ground, held his breath, and pretended like he was dead, hoping that that would save his life. And the robber shot 2 bullets into his back anyway. All right. This man survived. Can you believe this? He's actually, somebody somehow helped him, and he survived. So when he was in the hospital and he was in a coma for a great period of time, I think she said it might have been 7 days. This is his wife talking. It might have been 7 days he was in a coma. He said some really interesting things. Although he wasn't thinking, he was talking. He was saying some really interesting things. And what he said to her is, 3 of them are going to die, but it's not going to be me. And he was in intensive care, and within 24 hours, 3 of the patients in intensive care died. Isn't that an interesting story? And let's see, but he now is walking. He's retired. He's walking. He's back to life. She says he's uncomfortable, but he's he's still able to do things and go places, and he just got repaired. It was amazing. No one ever thought that he would live. Her story is, when she would go to the hospital to see him, and she would walk into the room, it was so filled with angels, there was no room for her. She said she would open the door and go to walk in, and she felt like she was bumping into things because there were so many angels in the room. His story is that he was floating up above his body. He watched them take care of him. He went over to the other side. He saw the light, and he went over to the other side. And a very strong voice said to him, "Son, this is not your time. You're not staying. We need you down there." And then he felt himself get the physical body again, and he felt himself come back. And now he's basically living a pretty normal life. Isn't that an amazing story? Okay. I have 15 minutes left. So would you like me to continue talking about different stories I know people have passed on? Do you want to, is that what you want me to do? Does that sound like what you want me to do? Okay. All right, let's do this and get this out of the way. Got 3 more. Marlene? Okay. Well, Marlene, they tell me you're unique and you're different. And your way of thinking is that way. You're just very special, but you have an unusual connection. And the connection is very pure and it's very clear. And so the information you bring forth is unique to other people, but feels really right to you. And they're saying, keep up the enthusiasm that you put into your life and follow the direction that you know is right for you. Okay, great. Might as well do these. And Cheryl? Oh. Okay. The word I hear for you is super. And it's significant in the sense that you have a lot of strength around you, they're telling me. You're very powerful in ways that inside of you you know, but other people don't see. And you have a lot of, like a Superman, like a lot of strength. And you've needed that strength when you've had to move through things that have happened in your life that didn't seem like they were great, but you've used it, you can muster your strength, and you can stay very focused, and that's good. You've got a lot of potential, I'm hearing. Okay, last one of these. Joseph. That's you, right? That's why you came today after 5 years. Diane's going to make me clean these up, watch it.
No trash, no trash.
All right. You know, I just hear wow. So many things. I hear lots of voices talking to me. I mean, you've got guides and you've got angels and you've been in the right place at the right time. So many often. Your near-death experiences, the two of them, have been dynamic, but certainly they have helped you grow. They've given you strength and they've given you a foundation. You know somewhere inside of you you can move through anything, and you can inspire other people to do the same. So they're saying, keep on the same path. Keep talking, keep guiding, keep letting people know your story, and giving them the strength that you have that's in your soul. Okay, and you're not going anywhere too soon, so no more near deaths for you. All right, let me tell you another story. This is a story a man told me that was pretty amazing. I've never forgotten it. He was 3 years old and he lived on a farm. And they had told him, you know, what you tell a 3-year-old, don't go very far from the house. You know, I mean, it was Thanksgiving Day, he said, and his family said, don't go too far away. And so he thought he would just stay there and everything would be okay. But he saw a little rabbit. That's what it was. You know, 3 years old, you see a rabbit, you kind of chase it. So he saw the rabbit and he started to follow it. And he fell into a creek. But he was only 3 and it was a pretty rushing creek. What happened is the water pushed him under a bridge. And there was a nail hanging down. Talk about this is a near miss. And there was a nail hanging down, and his tongue caught on the nail. And that's what saved his life. Because his tongue was on the nail, he couldn't flow with the river. He could breathe, and he stayed alive until they found him. That's a really amazing story, too. Let's see if I can think of another one that comes to mind. Oh, yeah, this is another one. A man was a teenager. I mean, they're telling me as they're older, but he was a teenager. And he was in a car accident. It was a one-car accident. And for some reason, the way it worked is he was in the back seat, he flew over the front seat and out the windshield.
Yeah.
However, his feet caught on the windshield, and somehow the force of the car turning around threw him back through the car and out the back window. He survived, by the way. And out the back window. Isn't that amazing? And when they found him, they thought he was dead, so they just put him in the snow, and they just left him there. And they left him there for a long time. And he probably was in a coma, and he probably, for whatever reason, he was so badly hurt that they just left him there. And then they took him and they put him in the bag, and they took him to the morgue, and they took him to the hospital, whatever you do, and they took him to the morgue. And his elderly mother, and she had had him very late in life, so she was pretty elderly, even though he was only a teenager. His elderly mother absolutely insisted upon seeing the body. So they took her down to the morgue, and they unzipped it, and when they unzipped it, he opened his eyes. Can you believe this story? He had passed over to the other side, and he had stayed there until they said to him, it's time to go back. It's not your time here. It's time to go back. And they had sent him back down, and she said it was a period of maybe 3 hours, the lady I was talking to said it was a period of 3 hours that from the time they got him to the morgue and got the mother to him and all that kind of stuff. And so he literally was dead for that amount of time and came back. Okay. Maybe we'll end on that one, because that's pretty amazing. All right. Well, thank you. I had a good time. And I appreciate it. And you probably have ways to contact me if there's someone you know that you want to talk to that's on the other side, or you just want some guidance in your life. And thank you very much.
We will be adjourning to Ruby's. If you want to join us there, you're welcome to do that. The one on Skokie Boulevard. And don't forget, next month is Bill Torvin. So we will see you then. Don't forget your trash on the way out.